How many of you have dreams, goals, things you're passionate about, but somehow you keep holding back, pulling yourself back from what you truly want? Listen closely, because right now in this room, you're on the edge of breaking through, of realizing that what's been holding you back isn't your skills, your resources, or even your past. What's holding you back is a prison you built without even knowing it. It's a prison made of beliefs. Beliefs are powerful. They can lift you up to incredible heights or drag you down into the mud. The belief you have about who you are, about what's possible, is shaping every decision, every move, every outcome in your life. So let me ask you, who decided what beliefs you would hold? Who wrote the script you're living? It wasn't you, was it? No. Many of those beliefs came from outside your family, society, teachers, peers, even the culture around you. But here's the good news: just because a belief was handed to you doesn't mean you have to keep it. Most of us never stop to ask ourselves, is this belief true? Is it helping me? Instead, we go on autopilot, held back by ideas that have no basis in our current reality. Maybe it's a belief that you're not enough, that you're not capable, that you'll never have the money, the success, the love you want. I say enough of that. Because those beliefs, they're just words, thoughts that have run through your mind so many times that you've accepted them as gospel. But it's time to get real. They are not who you are. Now, I want you to think about this. What if you took those limiting beliefs and shattered them? What if you created new beliefs that were empowering, that lit you up from the inside out? The kind that makes you get up every morning and say, I can do this, I was born for this. That's what's possible when you stop letting beliefs control your life and start controlling your beliefs. But first, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to look in the mirror and question everything. This isn't easy, it takes courage. But that's where growth happens, outside the comfort zone.
It's time to live life on your terms. Because when you create empowering beliefs, you create a life of action, a life of purpose, and a life where you're in control. Don't settle for what someone else thinks you're capable of.
Discover it for yourself. I challenge you to break free from those beliefs and step into a life that's fully unapologetically yours, because when you do, there's nothing you can't achieve. Beliefs are the foundation of everything we experience, the silent force that shapes our reality. They're more than just thoughts or ideas. Beliefs are the lenses we wear, coloring every choice, every relationship, every opportunity. Think about it: what you believe about yourself, others, and the world around you creates a mental blueprint. That blueprint determines what actions you take, and those actions determine your results. So if you want to know what's really driving the direction of your life, look closely at what you believe. Many of us have beliefs we're not even aware of, beliefs that were formed long ago, maybe in childhood or from our early life experiences. These beliefs are like seeds planted in the soil of our minds, growing roots that dig deep, shaping how we view ourselves and the world around us. They tell us what we can and can't do, what we're worth, what we deserve. Some of these beliefs uplift and empower us, giving us the strength to go after our dreams, to persevere through challenges. Others keep us small, confined in the boundaries of I'm not enough, I can't, or I don't deserve that. The power of belief is incredible. It can either set you free or build a prison around you. Think about people who accomplish extraordinary things, people who defy the odds, break records, change history. They all have one thing in common: a belief that they are capable of greatness, that they can make an impact, that their life matters. That belief is often the only thing standing between them and failure, because no matter the challenges, they see themselves as people who can overcome. And let's be clear, beliefs aren't necessarily facts. They don't have to be true to shape your life as though they are. Believing that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, or that success isn't possible for you isn't a fact. It's a narrative, a story you've internalized and maybe even reinforced over the years. But just as easily as beliefs can limit you, they can also expand you. When you change a limiting belief into one that serves you, it's like opening a door to a whole new reality. Suddenly, what you thought was impossible starts to look achievable. Your mind starts searching for solutions, seeing opportunities instead of obstacles. It's powerful because once you shift your beliefs, everything else follows. Your decisions become bolder, your actions more aligned with your goals, your relationships deeper and more fulfilling. When you believe you're capable, you act like someone who's capable. When you believe you deserve success, you start taking steps that bring you closer to it. You start living life as if what you want is inevitable. And that belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. To harness the power of belief, you have to question and redefine what's running the show in your mind. Challenge every story that keeps you small, every belief that makes you feel unworthy. Because the truth is, you have the power to choose your beliefs.
You have the power to adopt beliefs that support and elevate you, ones that will serve as your strongest allies in creating the life you want.
Questioning limiting beliefs is a transformative process, a moment where you actively decide to break free from old ideas that have held you back. These beliefs have often been with you for years, becoming so embedded in your thinking that they feel like undeniable truths. But here's the reality: these beliefs are rarely based on truth. They're usually constructed from moments in our past, judgments we internalized, or messages we absorbed from our surroundings. Over time, they form a framework that restricts our potential, acting as invisible barriers that stop us from fully experiencing life's possibilities. To challenge limiting beliefs, you first have to identify them. The tricky part is that most of these beliefs hide in plain sight, showing up as assumptions you never question or statements you just take as fact. They might be thoughts like, I'm not good with money, I'll never be successful, or relationships never work out for me, but the first step toward freedom is realizing that these are not facts, they are simply thoughts. And just because you've thought something for years doesn't mean it's true or that it has to define you. Once you identify a limiting belief, ask yourself, where did this come from? Was it something someone told you? Did it come from an experience, a single moment in time that shaped your self-image? Often when you trace these beliefs back to their origins, you realize how arbitrary or irrational they actually are. Perhaps you were told you weren't good enough as a child, or you failed once and started seeing failure as inevitable. When you shine a light on the source of these beliefs, you see them for what they really are, stories. And once you realize they're just stories, you can rewrite them. Next, test the belief. Ask yourself, is this really true? Is this belief true in every situation, at all times, for everyone? Most often the answer is no. But the power of questioning doesn't stop there. Challenge yourself to think about how life would be different if this belief weren't in the way. Imagine what you'd do, how you'd feel, and how you'd act if this limiting thought simply didn't exist. This exercise can be eye-opening, showing you just how much a single belief has been holding you back and how life could expand if you let it go. To create lasting change, replace the limiting belief with an empowering one. For example, if you believe I'm not good at speaking in public, challenge yourself to create a new belief like, with practice, I'm becoming a confident speaker. Empowering beliefs are grounded in possibility and growth. They give you a sense of agency, of being able to change and improve. This new belief, backed by positive reinforcement and consistent action, will begin to replace the old one. Soon, the old belief fades as the new one gains strength, creating a powerful shift in how you perceive yourself and what you're capable of. This process of questioning limiting beliefs is about regaining control. It's about choosing which beliefs you allow to guide your actions and shape your future. You're not confined to a single story about who you are. You have the power to evolve, to become more than the limitations you've unconsciously accepted. By questioning your beliefs, you take back the power they once held over you, opening yourself to a life of greater possibility and freedom. This isn't a one-time process, but a lifelong practice, a commitment to never letting anything, especially a belief, stand in the way of who you want to become. Beliefs are formed over time, woven together from experiences, relationships, culture, and often the stories we've been told since we were young. They're like a blueprint we didn't consciously choose, but that nonetheless drives our decisions, shapes our self-perception, and defines our understanding of what's possible. From a young age, we absorb ideas and interpretations of the world around us, taking cues from our families, teachers, friends, and society. These external sources provide frameworks for understanding life, teaching us what is acceptable, normal, or desirable. And while some beliefs serve us, many can restrict our potential, becoming barriers to growth if left unchecked. One of the most powerful sources of our beliefs is family. From the moment we're born, our families shape us intentionally or not. We pick up on their spoken words and even their silent attitudes, how they view success, money, relationships, self-worth, and failure. A parent who always told you life is tough and you need to struggle to make it may have instilled a belief that you're only worthy if you work hard or suffer. Or if you grew up hearing praise for staying out of trouble or not rocking the boat. You might have internalized the belief that safety and acceptance come from avoiding risks. These beliefs start young and stick with us, shaping the way we interpret everything that comes later. School and peer groups add more layers to this belief system, especially during the formative years of adolescence. We often adopt beliefs to fit in, to be accepted, or to achieve success in ways others deem valuable. If you were encouraged to excel academically but discouraged from pursuing creative interests, for example, you might believe your worth is tied only to academic or measurable achievement. On the other hand, if you were constantly compared to others, you may have developed a belief that you're only as good as your latest accomplishment or better than the next person. These external comparisons subtly reinforce ideas of inadequacy, superiority, or the need to seek validation. Culture and society also play a significant role. Our environments reinforce ideas about who we're supposed to be, what we're allowed to want, and how we should act. Media, social norms, and cultural expectations shape collective beliefs about beauty, success, love, and happiness, subtly teaching us rules to follow. Society's standards about what defines a good life, ideal relationship, or right path create strong impressions. They can lead us to adopt beliefs that limit us, making us feel like we have to fit into predetermined roles or live up to expectations that may not align with who we truly are. Life experiences, the highs, lows, successes, and failures all contribute to shaping our beliefs. If you've experienced heartbreak, you might come to believe that love always leads to pain. If you've failed at a business venture, you might internalize the belief that success is only for others. These beliefs are often compounded by powerful emotions which give them a stronger grip on us. They become defense mechanisms, a way of protecting ourselves from perceived threats or failures in the future. But if we don't revisit these beliefs as we grow, they can act as invisible shackles, keeping us from taking risks or pursuing what we genuinely desire. At a deeper level, trauma or significant events can create particularly strong beliefs. The intense emotions tied to traumatic experiences leave a lasting impact, embedding beliefs that are hard to shake. A painful childhood event might lead to a lifelong belief in unworthiness, while a traumatic loss may cause someone to believe that they're destined for suffering. These beliefs aren't always logical or based in fact, but they feel real because they're tied to some of our most intense experiences. And unless we actively address and transform them, they can influence our lives in profound, often limiting ways. Understanding where our beliefs come from is crucial because it allows us to take a step back and see them as products of influence rather than immutable truths. By recognizing their origins, we create an opening for change. Instead of feeling confined by old beliefs, we can examine them, decide if they're still relevant, and choose to create new beliefs that align with who we want to become. Beliefs are not set in stone, they're formed, and that means they can be reformed.
The journey of uncovering and challenging where beliefs come from is one of reclaiming power, allowing us to consciously shape our lives rather than being guided by invisible inherited scripts.
Breaking free from conditioning is an empowering journey that involves examining and challenging the unconscious patterns we've absorbed throughout our lives. Conditioning is the accumulation of beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors instilled in us by external influences, family, society, culture, and even our personal experiences. It's what keeps us operating on autopilot, reacting to life based on ingrained responses rather than intentional choices. Most of the time, we're not even aware of how much our conditioning controls us. It feels like the natural way things are, the way they're supposed to be. But when you begin to recognize this conditioning for what it is, you unlock the freedom to create a life that's truly your own. Conditioning often starts in childhood, where we're shaped by the values and expectations of our family. Without question, these influences aim to protect us, to guide us toward what others believe is the right way to live. Yet over time, these messages settle into our psyche and become unexamined truths. If you were raised to believe that stability and security were the ultimate goals, you might find yourself making choices that keep you safe but unfulfilled. If you grew up in an environment where self-expression was discouraged, you may find yourself holding back, feeling limited in sharing who you truly are. Recognizing these imprints from our upbringing is the first step to realizing that they aren't laws we're bound to follow forever. Society and culture add another layer of conditioning, subtly influencing what we aspire to and how we measure success. We absorb countless messages from media, advertising, and social norms that define what's acceptable or normal. These can be ideas about beauty, success, relationships, or even happiness itself. Society might suggest that success means accumulating wealth, that beauty looks a certain way, or that happiness comes from acquiring things. Without realizing it, we buy into these narratives, measuring ourselves against standards we never consciously chose. Breaking free means stepping back and asking, whose values am I living by? Are they mine, or are they a product of societal conditioning? When you start to answer these questions, you can choose a path that feels authentic to you, not one dictated by external standards. Personal experiences and significant events also shape our conditioning. Life's highs and lows, especially those tied to strong emotions, leave a mark on us. We might experience setbacks, losses, or achievements that reinforce certain beliefs about ourselves or the world. If you've been hurt in relationships, for example, you may adopt the belief that love leads to pain and thus condition yourself to avoid intimacy. Or if you've faced rejection in your career, you might condition yourself to play small to avoid the risk of failure. Each experience reinforces certain behaviors, leading us to protect ourselves in ways that can ultimately limit our potential. But by becoming conscious of these patterns, you can see that they are protective responses, not realities, and that you have the power to choose different responses moving forward. Conditioning often comes with unspoken rules about who we should be and what we should avoid. These rules keep us within a narrow range of behavior, often instilling a fear of stepping outside of them. You might have been conditioned to believe that pursuing your passions is risky, or that failure is shameful, or that you should always put others' needs before your own. These rules serve as internal guardrails, keeping you within the lines of what feels safe or approved. But they also prevent you from exploring new possibilities. Breaking free from conditioning means becoming aware of these rules and having the courage to question them. It means asking yourself, what do I want, regardless of what I've been taught to want? Another powerful way to break free is to replace limiting beliefs and behaviors with intentional choices that reflect your values and desires. This requires going beyond the surface of what's comfortable or expected, allowing yourself to imagine new ways of thinking and living. For example, if you've been conditioned to believe that success requires sacrifice and struggle, you can start exploring the belief that success can be fulfilling and enjoyable. If you've been conditioned to believe that love means losing your independence, you can begin to explore a new belief that love can be empowering and expansive. By consciously replacing old conditioning with beliefs that uplift and serve you, you're actively designing your life rather than passively living it. Breaking free from conditioning is not about rejecting everything you've ever been taught, but about distinguishing what aligns with your authentic self from what doesn't. It's about cultivating the self-awareness to recognize when you're acting out of unconscious habit versus when you're acting with conscious choice. The process can be challenging, requiring you to confront old beliefs and fears that feel safe but no longer serve you. Yet, with every step you take, you reclaim more of your own power. You begin to see that you're not defined by the ideas, rules, or fears handed to you. Instead, you are capable of creating your own values, defining your own path, and living in alignment with who you truly are. Ultimately, breaking free from conditioning is about liberation. It's the process of peeling back layers of influence to uncover the essence of your true self.
It's the decision to let go of the limitations placed on you by others and embrace the freedom to choose, to explore, and to live a life guided by your own values and purpose. The journey is ongoing, a continuous process of awakening and realigning with your authentic self.
But with each step, you move closer to a life that feels true, fulfilling, and entirely yours. Creating empowering beliefs is one of the most transformative practices we can engage in. Empowering beliefs are those thoughts and convictions that uplift us, fuel our confidence, and expand our sense of what's possible.
They act as a foundation for success, resilience, and joy, enabling us to approach life's challenges with optimism and creativity. While limiting beliefs act as barriers, narrowing our potential, empowering beliefs create pathways, inviting us to step into our full capabilities.
These beliefs don't just happen by chance, they're consciously cultivated and reinforced, becoming the supportive inner dialogue that guides us toward growth and fulfillment. The journey of creating empowering beliefs begins with awareness. To create beliefs that elevate us, we first need to recognize the beliefs that have been keeping us down. Limiting beliefs often hide beneath the surface, disguised as assumptions or truths about ourselves and the world. They're the voices that say, I'm not smart enough, I always fail, or I don't deserve happiness. These statements are usually inherited or developed as a result of past experiences, but they don't define us. When we bring them to light, we can begin to challenge them and choose beliefs that align with who we aspire to be. An essential step in creating empowering beliefs is redefining our identity. We often cling to outdated ideas of who we are, ideas that might have served us once but now hold us back. To shift to empowering beliefs, we need to get clear on who we want to be. This means asking questions like, what qualities do I admire? What kind of person do I want to become? And what impact do I want to have on the world? Answering these questions allows us to identify qualities we aspire to: strength, resilience, kindness, creativity, or anything else we value. These qualities can then form the foundation of new beliefs. Instead of seeing ourselves as limited, we begin to see ourselves as capable, worthy, and evolving. Once we have a vision of who we want to become, we can start crafting beliefs that support that vision. This involves transforming limiting statements into ones that affirm our capabilities and potential. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, an empowering belief might be, with practice, I can improve at anything I set my mind to, rather than thinking, I always mess things up, we can replace it with, I learn and grow from every experience. These statements, though seemingly simple, create a powerful shift in mindset. They invite us to approach life with curiosity, to view setbacks as stepping stones, and to recognize that we're always capable of growth. Empowering beliefs also require regular reinforcement. Our minds are like gardens. Whatever we plant and nurture grows stronger over time. Just as limiting beliefs were ingrained through repetition, empowering beliefs become second nature when we actively remind ourselves of them. This can be done through daily affirmations, visualization, journaling, or simply catching ourselves in moments of self-doubt and choosing to respond with positivity. For instance, if you find yourself thinking, I'm going to fail at this, you can immediately follow up with, I've overcome challenges before, and I'm fully capable of handling this too. By consistently feeding our minds with empowering beliefs, we build a solid foundation that can withstand challenges. The language we use plays a crucial role in the creation of empowering beliefs. Words have an immense impact on how we feel and perceive ourselves. By choosing language that emphasizes growth, possibility, and resilience, we create a mental environment that fosters empowerment. Instead of saying, I'll try, say, I will, instead of focusing on what could go wrong, focus on what could go right. This shift in language may seem small, but it has a profound effect on how we approach challenges and opportunities. By speaking in terms of potential and capability, we shape our minds to see life as a series of possibilities rather than limitations. Empowering beliefs also thrive on action. Believing in ourselves is not just a mental exercise, it's a practice of aligning our thoughts with our actions. Taking steps, even small ones, toward our goals reinforces our confidence and strengthens the beliefs we're creating.
Each time we act in alignment with our empowering beliefs, we build trust in ourselves and in our abilities. This creates a positive feedback loop as we take action. Our belief in our own strength grows, and as our belief grows, we're inspired to take even more action.
Over time, this loop builds resilience, encouraging us to take on challenges that once seemed daunting. A key to sustaining empowering beliefs is surrounding ourselves with positive influences. The people we spend time with, the media we consume, and the environments we inhabit all impact our beliefs. When we choose to be around people who uplift us, who believe in our potential, and who encourage our growth, our empowering beliefs are reinforced. We start to see ourselves through the lens of possibility and potential because we're constantly exposed to others who reflect these qualities. If we spend time in supportive environments, we're more likely to stay focused on our goals, confident in our abilities, and aligned with our vision of who we want to become. Creating empowering beliefs is a lifelong process of self-discovery and intentional growth. It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose how we see ourselves and what we believe we're capable of.
With each empowering belief we create, we're actively shaping our reality, building a life that reflects our values, passions, and dreams. As we continue this practice, we become more resilient, more fulfilled, and more aligned with our true selves.
Empowering beliefs are the keys to unlocking our fullest potential, to living a life guided by possibility, purpose, and self-belief. They are a commitment to becoming the best version of ourselves and embracing all that life has to offer with courage, optimism, and a sense of boundless possibility. With who we are, living authentically means having the courage to embrace our uniqueness, even if it makes us stand out or challenges the status quo. It's about celebrating our strengths and accepting our imperfections without judgment. When we honor our individuality, we give ourselves permission to show up fully, bringing our whole selves into our relationships, work, and creative pursuits. Living authentically also means setting boundaries that protect our values and well-being. Boundaries are a way of honoring our limits and communicating our needs. They allow us to create space for what genuinely matters to us and shield us from influences that drain our energy or pull us away from our authentic path. Saying no to things that don't align with our values or vision can feel uncomfortable, especially if we're used to prioritizing others' expectations. But boundaries are vital for living authentically. They allow us to protect our time, energy, and focus, ensuring we're investing in what truly resonates with us. Another key aspect of authenticity is vulnerability. Being authentic requires us to be open and honest, not only with others, but also with ourselves. This involves acknowledging our fears, insecurities, and mistakes rather than hiding behind a facade of perfection. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in truth, it's a profound strength. When we're vulnerable, we connect with others on a deeper level. We build relationships based on trust and genuine understanding rather than superficial appearances. Being vulnerable allows us to be seen as we are without pretense, which deepens our connection to others and reinforces our sense of self-worth. Authenticity is about living according to our values, not merely adopting the values of those around us. Our values act as our compass, guiding us in our decisions, behaviors, and goals. When we live authentically, we make choices that reflect what we truly believe, even if those choices are unconventional or unpopular. This means examining what we truly value, whether it's creativity, compassion, integrity, adventure, or growth, and making these values the foundation of our lives. When we prioritize our values, we align our actions with our deepest beliefs, creating a life that feels meaningful and purposeful. Living authentically also calls for embracing change and growth. As we go through life, our experiences shape and refine us, and our understanding of ourselves deepens. Authenticity doesn't mean rigidly clinging to a fixed identity. Instead, it's about staying true to ourselves even as we evolve. We allow ourselves to grow, to try new things, to change our minds, and to adapt our beliefs as we gain new insights. Authenticity means being open to the ongoing process of self-discovery and personal evolution. It's about honoring who we are in the present while remaining curious and open to who we're becoming. Choosing to live authentically often requires courage because it means stepping away from the need for external approval. The need for validation is deeply ingrained, especially in a world where social acceptance and approval are so highly valued. But living authentically involves making decisions based on what resonates with our inner truth, not on what others think of us. This doesn't mean we disregard the people we care about, but rather that we trust ourselves enough to make choices that are right for us. Authenticity is about building a life that we're proud of, a life that reflects our true self, regardless of how others perceive it. One of the most profound benefits of living authentically is the inner peace it brings. When we're true to ourselves, we experience a sense of alignment and harmony between our inner world and our outer actions. There's no need for pretending, no inner conflict or dissonance between who we are and how we act. This doesn't mean life becomes free of challenges, but it does mean that we face those challenges with integrity and self-respect. Authenticity gives us a steady foundation, a deep sense of trust in ourselves, and a peace that comes from knowing we're living a life that honors our true nature. Living authentically inspires others to do the same. When we live with integrity and courage, we give those around us permission to explore and embrace their own authenticity. Our presence becomes a reminder that it's possible to live fully and unapologetically as ourselves.
Authenticity creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to step into their truth, to challenge their own limitations, and to create lives that reflect their genuine selves.
Through authenticity, we foster a community of connection where relationships are built on honesty, respect, and shared values rather than surface-level expectations. Ultimately, living authentically is a journey of self-empowerment and self-acceptance. It's the decision to honor who we are, to trust our intuition, and to follow a path that feels aligned with our true self. It's a commitment to live with purpose, to embrace our individuality, and to connect with others from a place of honesty and depth. Living authentically isn't always easy. It requires introspection, courage, and resilience. But in choosing authenticity, we create a life that feels true, meaningful, and fulfilling, one where we're free to grow, to express ourselves, and to fully experience the richness of being our true selves. An action plan is a powerful tool that takes abstract ideas, dreams, or goals and translates them into concrete, achievable steps. It's a structured approach to making progress, focusing on breaking down what can sometimes feel like overwhelming objectives into manageable tasks. An action plan allows us to see a clear path forward, bringing clarity, direction, and a sense of empowerment that drives us to stay focused and committed. It's about creating intentional momentum, knowing exactly what needs to be done, and establishing accountability to ensure steady progress. Creating an effective action plan begins with clear goal setting. Vague goals such as be successful or get healthier can be hard to pursue because they lack specifics. A powerful action plan needs specific, measurable, and time-bound objectives. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, define your goal. Clearly, I want to run a 5K in 3 months. Or instead of saying, I want to grow my business, specify, I want to increase my client base by 25% within the next 6 months. Specific goals provide direction, helping you to understand exactly what you're working toward and giving you a solid foundation on which to build actionable steps. Once you've defined your goal, the next step in creating an action plan is to break it down into smaller, actionable tasks. Major goals can feel overwhelming, so by identifying bite-sized actions, you give yourself attainable steps to follow. If your goal is to launch a blog, for example, break it down into tasks like researching content topics, choosing a platform, setting up the blog, writing the first post, and then marketing it. These smaller tasks serve as building blocks, each one a step closer to your goal. This approach not only makes the journey more manageable, but also allows you to celebrate small wins along the way, keeping your motivation high. Prioritization is a critical part of an effective action plan. Not all tasks have the same level of impact, so it's essential to identify which steps will move you closest to your goal. Often we get caught up in busy work. That doesn't directly contribute to our objectives, which can lead to burnout without real progress. To prioritize, ask yourself which tasks are absolutely necessary and which are optional. For instance, if you're planning a career transition, an essential task might be updating your resume or networking with industry professionals, while less critical tasks might involve minor adjustments that can wait until later. Focusing on high-impact tasks ensures that you're always moving forward in meaningful ways. Setting deadlines for each task is another important part of an action plan, as it creates a sense of urgency and accountability. A task without a deadline can easily be pushed aside, so give each step a specific time frame. Instead of saying, I'll start researching job opportunities, soon commit to, I will spend 2 hours researching job openings by the end of this week. Deadlines keep you accountable, giving you a timeline to measure your progress against. However, it's important to set realistic deadlines. If they're too tight, you may feel overwhelmed. If they're too lax, you might procrastinate. Find a balance that challenges you while still being achievable. Accountability is another key factor that reinforces an action plan. When you're accountable to someone, a friend, mentor, or accountability partner, it increases your commitment to following through. Sharing your goals and action plan with someone you trust adds an extra layer of motivation, because you're not just accountable to yourself, but to someone who supports your journey. They can offer feedback, encouragement, and even a fresh perspective that helps you stay on track.
If an accountability partner isn't available, consider using tools like habit tracking apps, journaling, or setting regular check-ins with yourself to stay motivated and focused.
Flexibility is essential in any action plan, as unexpected obstacles and changes can arise. Life is dynamic, and so are our goals and paths. While a solid action plan provides structure, it should be adaptable enough to adjust to shifting circumstances. If you encounter a roadblock, view it as an opportunity to learn and refine your approach rather than as a failure. For example, if you aim to complete a major task by a certain date, but an unexpected commitment arose, adjust your timeline and keep moving forward.
Flexibility allows you to maintain progress without feeling defeated, keeping you resilient and adaptable on your journey.
Celebrating milestones is another powerful way to stay motivated and reinforce your commitment. As you accomplish each small task or reach a mini goal, take time to acknowledge your effort and progress.
This positive reinforcement builds momentum and boosts confidence. For example, if you've hit a major milestone in your goal to complete a certification course, treat yourself to something meaningful or take a day to reflect on what you've achieved.
Celebrating milestones transforms the journey into a fulfilling process, encouraging you to enjoy each step and fostering a positive mindset toward continued progress.
Another important component of an action plan is regular review and reflection. As you progress, take time to assess what's working and what isn't. A monthly or weekly check-in can help you evaluate your approach, identify any bottlenecks, and make necessary adjustments. Reflection also gives you the chance to see how much closer you are to your goal, which can be a huge motivational boost. It's also a moment to celebrate the growth and learning that's happening along the way. By regularly reviewing your plan, you ensure that your actions stay aligned with your goals and that you're adapting to any changes effectively. One of the final, yet essential aspects of an action plan is cultivating resilience and commitment. Goals, especially ambitious ones, require dedication and a willingness to keep going even when motivation dips. There will likely be moments of challenge, setbacks, or doubt. Building resilience means finding ways to stay focused even when things get tough. Techniques like visualization, affirmations, or reminding yourself of your why can be powerful. By reinforcing your commitment to the goal, you prepare yourself to push through obstacles, trusting that each step, no matter how challenging, brings you closer to your desired outcome. Ultimately, an action plan is more than just a to-do list, it's a roadmap to transformation. Each part of the plan is a tool that empowers you to take control of your journey, stay focused, and keep moving forward with purpose.
It creates a structured path for realizing your goals, making the journey less overwhelming and more rewarding. With a well-thought-out action plan, you have a blueprint for success that turns your vision into tangible results.
It's a commitment to yourself, a declaration of your goals, and a practical way to bring your dreams to life one step at a time. As you follow this plan, you'll see progress, build confidence, and ultimately realize that you have the power to create the life you envision.
In conclusion, the journey to living a life of authenticity and empowerment begins with recognizing the power of our beliefs and the actions we take to reshape them.
By questioning our limiting beliefs and understanding where they come from, we can break free from the conditioning that has held us back. In doing so, we create space for new empowering beliefs that align with our true selves, guiding us toward our goals and aspirations. Living authentically means embracing our individuality and setting boundaries that protect our values. It involves being vulnerable, prioritizing our true passions, and committing to continuous growth. Through an actionable plan, one that includes clear goals, manageable steps, accountability, and flexibility, we can chart a course toward our dreams, celebrating every milestone along the way. Ultimately, this journey is about stepping into our power, trusting ourselves, and choosing to live in alignment with who we truly are. By committing to this path, we not only transform our own lives, but inspire those around us to do the same. So let us rise together, embodying authenticity, embracing our unique journeys, and creating lives filled with purpose, joy, and limitless possibility. The time for action is now. Let's unleash the potential within us and create a future that reflects our true selves.